The Mona Lisa, a name that resonates through the corridors of art history, a symbol of beauty, mystery, and intrigue. Just her name conjures up mystery and intrigue. The allure of her gaze, the subtlety of her smile have drawn countless admirers from all corners of the globe. For centuries, her enigmatic smile has captivated viewers, making her the most famous painting in the world. The Mona Lisa is not just a painting, she is an icon, a symbol of artistic genius and human emotion. But her story took a dramatic turn in the summer of 1911. Paris, the city of lights, was about to be plunged into darkness. On a humid August morning, the art world held its breath as the unthinkable happened. The Mona Lisa vanished from the walls of the Louvre Museum in Paris. The space where she once hung was now a gaping void, a silent testament to the audacity of the theft. The theft sent shockwaves across the globe. Newspapers from Paris to New York blared the headlines, "Mona Lisa stolen." The world was in disbelief. How could such a famous artwork simply disappear? The Louvre, a fortress of art, had been breached. Detectives and museum staff scoured every inch of the museum, searching for clues, but the painting was nowhere to be found. The theft became an international sensation, dominating headlines and sparking countless rumors and theories. Some speculated it was the work of a master thief, others believed it was a political statement. The mystery deepened with each passing day. The City of Lights was in shock. Parisians, known for their love of art and culture, were stunned. The streets buzzed with conversations about the theft, and the air was thick with tension. The Louvre, home to countless treasures, was now a crime scene. Police and investigators swarmed the museum, their presence a stark reminder of the gravity of the situation. The world watched and waited. The world waited anxiously for news, hoping against hope that the masterpiece would be found. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, but the Mona Lisa remained missing. The mystery of her disappearance only added to her legend, making her an even more enigmatic figure in the annals of art history. It was August 21st, 1911. The city of Paris was waking up to what seemed like an ordinary Sunday morning. The streets were filled with the usual hustle and bustle, and the air was filled with the sounds of horse-drawn carriages and the chatter of Parisians starting their day. The day began like any other at the Louvre, one of the most famous museums in the world. The grand entrance of the Louvre welcomed visitors from all walks of life, eager to immerse themselves in the world of art and history. Tourists and Parisians alike flocked to the museum, eager to catch a glimpse of its many masterpieces. The halls were filled with the sounds of footsteps and hushed conversations as people admired the artworks that adorned the walls. Little did they know that history was about to be made. Among the countless pieces of art, one painting stood out, the Mona Lisa. This enigmatic portrait had captured the imagination of many, but on this day, it would become the center of an unprecedented event.
Among the visitors that day was Vincenzo Perugia, an Italian handyman who had briefly worked at the Louvre. Perugia had other plans. He was not there to admire the art. He was there with a purpose that would soon shock the world. He had been hired to build protective glass cases for some of the museum's most valuable paintings, including the Mona Lisa. This job had given him the perfect opportunity to study the museum's layout and security measures. What the museum didn't know was that Perugia harbored a secret, a plan that would make him infamous. He believed that the Mona Lisa rightfully belonged in Italy and was determined to return it to his homeland. With meticulous planning and a bold heart, Perugia set his plan into motion, unaware of the global sensation it would create.
Early that morning, before the museum opened its doors to the public, Perugia slipped unnoticed into the Salon Carré, the room where the Mona Lisa was displayed. The museum was surprisingly quiet, with few guards on duty. It was the perfect opportunity for Perugia to execute his plan.
Perugia quickly lifted the Mona Lisa from its hooks. The painting, smaller than many people realize, was surprisingly light. He tucked it under his workman's smock and calmly walked out of the museum, disappearing into the bustling streets of Paris.
The discovery of the theft was a moment of sheer panic. The museum staff, who had always taken pride in their security measures, were in utter disbelief. How could such an iconic piece of art simply vanish without a trace? The initial shock quickly turned into a desperate scramble to understand what had happened. The absence of the Mona Lisa was noticed almost immediately. and the museum staff was thrown into chaos. Alarms were sounded, and the museum was swiftly closed to the public. Staff members ran through the halls, checking every possible hiding place, hoping against hope that it was just a terrible mistake.
The French police were alerted, and a frantic search began. Officers arrived in droves, questioning everyone from the janitors to the curators. The Louvre, usually a place of quiet reverence, was now a scene of frantic activity. Detectives meticulously examined the crime scene, looking for any clues that could lead them to the missing masterpiece. Every corner of the museum was scoured, but there was no trace of the painting or the thief. The guards inspected every nook and cranny, from the grand galleries to the hidden storage rooms. The more they searched, the more it became clear that the Mona Lisa was truly gone. The realization was devastating.
The news of the theft spread like wildfire. Newspapers across the globe featured the story on their front pages. Headlines screamed about the audacious heist, and the public was captivated by the unfolding drama. The theft of the Mona Lisa was not just a crime, it was a cultural catastrophe. The entire city of Paris was in an uproar, and the search for the Mona Lisa became a national obsession. People gathered in cafes and on street corners, discussing theories and speculating about the identity of the thief. The city, known for its art and culture, was now the center of a global mystery. The authorities were under immense pressure to recover the stolen masterpiece and bring the culprit to justice. The French government, aware of the international embarrassment, allocated additional resources to the investigation. High-ranking officials were involved, and the search extended beyond the borders of France. The world watched and waited, hoping for the safe return of the Mona Lisa.
The Louvre felt strangely empty without the Mona Lisa. It was as if a piece of its soul had vanished.
The absence of the Mona Lisa left a void not just in the gallery, but in the hearts of those who visited. The museum staff were in shock, struggling to comprehend how such an audacious theft could happen. The investigation into the theft of the Mona Lisa was fraught with challenges. False leads and dead ends were everywhere.
We followed every clue, no matter how small, but each one seemed to lead us further from the truth. It was incredibly frustrating.
Despite the relentless efforts, the painting seemed to have vanished without a trace, leaving the detectives grasping at straws. Months passed and the case grew colder, but then a breakthrough came from an unexpected source.
We received a tip that led us to re-examine our assumptions. It was the first real lead in months.
The news of the investigation's progress spread quickly. People were eager to know if the Mona Lisa would finally be found.
As the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place, it became clear that the truth was stranger than fiction. After 2 long years of searching, the Mona Lisa was finally recovered in 1913. The world was eager to learn how this priceless masterpiece was found.
We received a tip from an art dealer in Florence. Vincenzo Perugia had contacted him, trying to sell the painting.
The news spread like wildfire. The Mona Lisa was safe and the culprit was in custody. It was a moment of immense relief and celebration.
The painting was returned to the Louvre with great fanfare, and the world could once again admire Leonardo da Vinci's masterpiece. Vincenzo Perugia's trial was a spectacle, capturing the attention of the entire world.
I stole the Mona Lisa to return it to Italy. It was always meant to be here, in its rightful home.
Perugia's defense was rooted in patriotism. He claimed he wanted to restore Italy's cultural heritage. Many Italians saw him as a hero, not a criminal.
Despite his passionate defense, Perugia was sentenced to 1 year and 15 days in prison, a relatively light sentence given the magnitude of his crime. After serving his sentence, Vincenzo Perugia returned to a quiet life, but the legacy of his audacious theft lingered.
I never meant to cause harm. I just wanted to do something for my country.
Perugia's life after the heist was marked by a mix of infamy and admiration. He lived out his days in Italy, forever remembered as the man who stole the Mona Lisa. The theft of the Mona Lisa left an indelible mark on the art world and popular culture.
The heist elevated the Mona Lisa to an unprecedented level of fame. It became more than just a masterpiece. It became a symbol of cultural identity and intrigue.
Today, the Mona Lisa is not only celebrated for its artistic brilliance but also for the incredible story of its theft and recovery. Its legacy continues to captivate and inspire generations,